Great morning to you, crew. Happy Tuesday. Thank you so much to my replay viewers for checking out this broadcast. Sorry I missed you live, but so glad you guys took some time to check it out. What is up to my live crew this morning? Great to see you all this morning. So glad to have you here. I appreciate you guys coming in to hang out with me on this Tuesday morning. Jason, what's up, my brother? Thanks for coming in, man. Richard, great morning to you. Glenda, what's happening? Good morning to you. Jackie, what's going on? Maggie, great morning to you. Camille, good morning to you as well. You're all amazing. Tracy, I see you. Brian, good morning on YouTube. Alex on YouTube, good morning. Y'all are amazing, and I appreciate you. We're gonna have a kind of a fun conversation this morning, guys. I'm gonna ask you this morning 8 powerful questions to challenge you to evaluate how effectively you are running your business. This is very much a straight talk conversation this morning. This is the type that I challenge you to get pen and paper in hand, and I'm gonna ask you to be really, really honest with yourself, and we're going to shake a few things loose this morning and get you narrow and laser focused on the things that you need to be focused on in your business. So that is our conversation and topic for today. We're going to challenge ourselves as business owners and as leaders, and really identify how effectively we are operating in the position and the gifting that God has given us. All right, so that's our conversation for today. All you guys that know me, you know who I am, you know how I roll. I would love to have you hit that share button and invite your crew into the broadcast. Get anybody in here that you think may want to hang out with us and take part in this conversation this morning, all right? And then if anybody's brand new, if you've never seen me before, if you have no idea who I am, first of all, welcome. I would love to greet you into the broadcast and say hello. If you want to give me a hashtag first time and let me know if it is the first time you've ever seen me, I would love to say hello, and my crew would love to make you feel welcome. So let me know if it is the first time you've ever joined in with us. Great morning to you, Kim. Thanks for coming in, my friend Carice and Linda. Great morning to you. And then lastly, guys, I very much appreciate every single one of y'all that's checking this out on the replay. Those guys that are on the replay, I would love for you to know that you can comment and interact with this broadcast. I would love for you to give me a hashtag replay. I do see those comments and I do respond to those as well, so I would love to know that you are here, all right? Also, real quick, for all you YouTubers, those guys that are watching on YouTube, right down here in the bottom corner of this video, there's a little subscribe button. I would love for you to hit that, click that, and give me a follow, give me a like, give me a subscribe. I give a lot of great content. I'm live 4 days a week, and I'd love for you to be following me on my YouTube channel, all right? Guys, I'm gonna roll, because I do not waste my time, and I choose not to waste yours, so let's jam. All right, y'all, that is who I am. That is what I do. Justin Kaplan Pro is my name. JustinKaplanPro.com is my website. I'm a startup business mentor and a branding strategist that specializes in helping startup entrepreneurs turn your passion, your gifting, your idea into a profitable and sustainable brand that rises up in this digital marketplace to draw in the 21st century consumers that want and need what you have to offer. Guys, I broadcast live every single weekday morning from Tuesday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, hooking you guys up with business building tips, hacks, and principles, anything I can give you to help you grow your business, expand your ministry, bring your vision to life, and grow that brand of yours online in this digital marketplace. All right, Brian, what's up, man? Brian's trying to figure out what's different. Brian, I broke my glasses recently, so I am going full out contacts all the time for the time being until my new glasses come in. So Brian's trying to figure out, man, you look younger and more vibrant. No, I just don't have my glasses on. But hey, if it works for you, buddy, whatever makes me more appealing, and that's what we're doing. Lisa, good morning to you. Maggie Kavanaugh, great morning to you and happy Tuesday. Michelle, good morning to you. Dale, what's happening? Appreciate all of you guys. You're amazing, all right? Let's dive into our conversation for today. We're talking about 8 questions to challenge you, 8 powerful questions to challenge you to evaluate how effectively you are running your business. I'm going to take you through a conversation this morning that I like to call the investor versus the manager. And I have shared this one before. It's been a long time since I've done this one, but I do love this. I do love this conversation because I think it's a very challenging alternative viewpoint of you as a business owner, because I think it's very easy for us as business owners to challenge ourselves personally, but if you really take the viewpoint and if you can learn how to take an external viewpoint and really challenge yourself as a business owner and look at yourself from an external point of view, it gives you a completely different view of a lot of things that we don't just naturally look at on a day-to-day basis. Nova, great morning to you, and thanks so much for coming in. I appreciate you. Okay, so let's dive right straight into this. I am curious to know, with all you guys that are watching, I would love for you to put in the chat stream, have any of you ever had a leadership or a management position in your life or in your career? Basically meaning you have been the leader of people. You've had people that were under you and you had to lead them, guide them, manage them, etc. How many of y'all have had a leadership or a management position? And if you want to, put in the chat stream how many people you've had to lead or manage. So for example, I've spent 15 years in leadership management positions. And the last position that I held before I decided to go self-employed was I had 258 employees was the most I ever had to manage at one particular time. In that particular position, I had, if I recall, probably 17 or 18 department managers, and I had 5 assistant managers under me. Yeah, Brian 15, Jacqueline yes, Maggie yes, Glenda 55, right? So I think hopefully Maggie 112. I love it. So I asked that question because I wanted to, if we've all been in that position where we've had to manage people, and we've been, a part of your role as the manager is to run the business, right, and to produce the results that you were hired or put in place to produce, but also it is a lot of people, Camille. Thank you, but also, while it's your job to run the business and produce the results that you're hired to produce, it's also your job to develop the people, right? And to focus and work on the people as well. So I love that majority, if not all of us, have had some sort of leadership experience in the past, because that can it can very much it'll help. Brian's babysat before, and you know what? The other thing too is, you think about, if you've never had a leadership position before, then for those of you that have never had a leadership position before, you might think of those guys that have never had a leadership position, and then really for all of us, can you think of the leaders that you have worked for in the past? People that you looked up to and that you were responsible and accountable to, and can you think of one leader that you just really, really respected, and they were really, really good at their job? They motivated you, they inspired you, they challenged you, they worked with you, they helped you with your strengths and abilities, they encouraged you, they developed you. And have any of you guys had a leader like that? And I talk about one particular leader. I've had a few really good leaders. I've also had a few that were just bomb, awful, terrible, awful people. And y'all have that one? I have had some pretty awful people that I've had to work for in the past, but I've had a couple that have been pretty amazing. One particular in my mind, just a tremendous leader, and taught me a lot about who I am as a person, as well as who I am as a business owner. But just think about that person, and as we go through these questions, think about what that person would say to you as I ask you these questions. All right. So I'm going to start you out with my quote of the day. My quote of the day is by Michael LeBoeuf, that says, "A large portion of new startup businesses fail simply because their founders continue to think and act like employees, waiting for someone to tell them what to do." That one goes right between the eyes, doesn't it? Let me say that again. A large portion of new startup businesses fail simply because their founders continue to act or think and act like employees, waiting for someone to tell them what to do. No, I'm not pulling any punches this morning, all right? I promise. Let's keep going. Number one, first question I'm going to ask you is, I'm going to say we're fast approaching the halfway point in our year, right? It's June 16th. We're almost 6 full months into the year. Our halfway point is over. So obviously this year has been nothing like any of us expected, anticipated, or have ever experienced in our life, right? But still, over the past 6 months, despite all the things that have going on, you still are a business owner, and you still got to run your business. So I'm going to ask you, based upon your last 6 months, of all the things that you have done and have not done over the last 6 months, ask yourself, would you say you are currently up for promotion or termination in your business as a business owner? So the way I set this up for you, I told you this is a conversation that I like to call the investor versus the manager. So I want you to think of yourself, and I'm going to ask you to change hats a couple times this morning. So right now, I want you to think about, you are the manager of your business. and you have an investor that has made a significant investment in your business, but along with his investment, he also has some results that he's expecting out of you. So I want you to ask yourself at the 6-month point, at the end of June, you've got to sit down with your investor and you got to have a conversation about your first 6 months performance. And your performance, I want to clarify, your performance is not simply business results. Your performance is also your discipline, your mindset, your consistency, the things that you have focused on. Because we all have things within our control. Now, there's a whole lot of things that happen in the last few months that are completely outside of our control. But along with that, there's a whole bunch of things that are within your control. So what I would love to know is despite the challenges, despite the adversity, what have you done? How have you pivoted? Where have you shifted your focus? How have you gotten productive in the areas that you had more time? Where have you pulled back from the things that you can't produce? So if you had to sit down with your investor at the end of June and give him an account of the first 6 months of your year this year, would you be up for promotion? Or would you be up for termination? And I want you to ask yourself specifically why. And if you can look at be like, oh man, like Brian's like, I'm hosed, I'm fired, I'm done, I'm out, right? But ask yourself why. Can you ask yourself why? Can you think of yourself, all right, if you feel like for me, I'm promoted. Now, did my business produce everything? Like, let's say I sat down with my investor in January, said, this is our goal for the first half. This is what we're going to accomplish. This is what we're going to get done. This is the income we're going to make. This is the results we're going to produce. This is the launches we're going to do. This is the plan. If I sat down with an investor in my business in the next couple weeks, and sat down and be like, all right, listen, the first 6 months of the year did not go anything like what we expected. And did I accomplish everything that we set out to accomplish when we started off in January? No, but this is what I did do. I stayed the course. I maintained consistency. I developed brand new content. I decided to leverage the extra time that I had through the month of March and April, and I built and launched a brand new app, which was not on the plan for the year. I've developed new results. I've shifted strategy and really putting some attention on my YouTube channel. I have been disciplined. I have been focused. I've been consistent. I've acquired X number of new clients and made X number of new income. I've had incremental growth here, and here. I could completely explain what I've done in my business, how I've done it, why I've done it, and where I expect to take this business in the back of the half of the year. So I have no problem with having a conversation with my investor and him going, you're the guy that needs to continue running this business for the rest of the year. Or would that be an awkward conversation for you? Would your investor be like, how come I didn't see you doing anything for like 3 months? Well, it's Corona. Okay. You still have this is in your control. This is in your control. This is in your control. How come instead of creating brand new content, all I saw from you on social media was negativity and garbage and adding fuel to the controversial fire? How come that's all I saw from you? How come you slept in every morning? Just because the world is in chaos doesn't mean that you get to sleep in. How come you started things and didn't finish them? How come you procrastinated more in the last 6 months than you ever have before? How come you had those couple of opportunities right on your plate and you decided to just blow them off? How come you had people connect to you that you didn't follow up with? I am reading somebody's mail, peeking in your windows right now. This should be uncomfortable. This is a straight talk conversation, all right? So, are you currently up for promotion or termination? Now, the reason why I go straight for your jugular this morning with that first question, and the reason why I bring these up to the surface, is because the first step in growing and improving in any area of your life is self-awareness. You have got to be completely aware and honest with yourself about where you are now before you can grow from that. You can't move forward from an undefined place. So if you want to really grow and become the business owner that your business demands, if you want to become the person that your results require, you've got to be honest with yourself about where you are, where you've been, and what's going to be necessary to take you to where you need to go. So number one is, are you currently up for promotion or termination? If you had to do a review with your investor at the end of June, how would you explain yourself? And what would be your plan to get forward from that, all right? Number two, let's ask you another one. What would you expect of your business manager? All right, so I'm going to put you in the position of the investor now. You're the investor, and you have basically made a significant investment in you, who is your manager, to run your business. If you were going to make an investment in you as the manager to run your business, what do you expect of your business manager? Now, I'm just talking about the business manager. I'm not talking about the business. I'm talking about the manager. What would you expect of the manager if you were the investor? What time should they get up every single day? How should they plan their days and their weeks? What should be their goals? How should they operate? What accountability mechanisms should they have in place? Where should they be checking in? What results should be being consistently produced? What would you expect of the business manager? Because again, when you're running a business, there's always uncertainty. There's always uncertainty. There's always things that are outside of your control, but there are always things that are within your control. So what I expect of my business manager, if I've made an investment in a business and I hired Justin Kaplan to run this business because I believe he's the one to take this business to the next level, then what do I expect of him? I expect discipline, consistency. I expect him to understand what the business is doing and run that thing. I expect him to execute. I expect him to be fully present and focused on the things that are absolutely within his control, like his routine, his content, the way he shares on social media, how he follows up with people, the way he executes his current clients and maintains their jobs and progress, the way he finds way to make new connections and new leads. I mean, he's the business manager. So ask yourself for your business. I mean, really, if you think about it this way, if you were to hire someone to manage and run your business, what would you expect of them? If you were to fully fund the business and you make a significant investment in that business for it to be successful, what would you expect from them? On a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, what do you feel is within their control, and what should they be operating day in, day out without fail? Can you answer that question? Put a yes or no in the chat stream. Can you see that? Because it's a different perspective. Again, it's very easy for us to be like, well, I haven't been as disciplined as I need to be this week, but I did good on Wednesday, and Thursday I got some stuff done. So I think this week was a win. I think it's easy for us to give ourselves an out, isn't it? But then as an investor, let's say an investor gave you $50,000 at the beginning of the year, said, I'm going to give you $50,000, and I want you to use this to really, really drive revenue in this business and really, really make some great results and make some great strides, get the tools that you need, et cetera, et cetera. What would you expect from them? Would they be happy with a part-time effort? I say often that you can't produce full-time results on a part-time effort. Would your investor be happy with a part-time effort? Are you satisfied with a part-time effort? I'm not. That's number 2. What would you expect of your business manager? Number 3 is, how would you define success as the investor? How would you define that? Very simply, would you define careful, Justin. Would you define success on a revenue basis? Would you define success on a number of leads generated? Like, one of the things that I talk about often, I had someone challenge me one time when I was talking about my routine. They said to me, Justin, where and when do you manage all of your social media stats? Like, how do you look and how do you track all your social media? I'm like, I don't. Like, you don't? You don't look at like video views and shares and all the stuff that goes on with all the content you're putting out there? I'm like, no, I don't go back and review video content. It really doesn't matter to me how many views I get or how many shares I get. I measure the results. I measure my results based upon new connections, how many new people I'm connecting to. So if I look back over the past 30 days, I'm like, over the past 30 days, I only connected to 2 new people. That's not good enough for me. But if I look over the past month, say, you know what, I connected to 17 new people last month. Those are brand new connections that I can cultivate, I can grow relationships with, I can pour into, and eventually probably convert some of those into paying clients. I love the way Brian just explained it. Brian said, people touched, like touches. I love that. Love that perspective, Brian, where you're basically, how many connections am I making? How many touches did I get this week? So Novica says you get on my last nerve, right? Truth and love, Novica. Again, my mission always, y'all, is to speak the truth and love. But I want to ask you the tough questions, I want to ask you the tough questions that most people don't have the guts to say to you. All right. So, how would you define success as your investor? All right. Number 4. Number 4 is, as the business manager, what are your goals for the business? Now, I word that a specific way. Where I say, what are your goals for the business versus what are your goals? Because I think that's a different perspective. If I just say, Camille, what are your goals? Or Brian, what are your goals? Or Maggie, what are your goals? I think it's easy for us to be like, well, my goals are, I want to spend, a good 30 hours of great focused work on my business. I want to be generating X amount of dollars. I want to, I think the angle that we sometimes take for what are my goals versus what are my goals for the business. What do I want this business to produce? Specifically, I want this business to get to a point where it generates 5 figures in revenue consistently every single month. My goals for the business are to maintain an average of 8 to 10 clients on a consistent basis. My goals for this business are to donate at least $5,000 to charitable causes every year. My goals are to publish 1 new book every year. My goals for this business are to expand into a local storefront by the end of 2021. Those would be those. I mean, what are your goals for the business? Because I think if you only look at what are my goals, I think sometimes your business goals can get skewed with just personal development goals all the time. And that's good. I want you to have your goals. But also, as the manager of the business, as the leader of the business, the person who has been assigned to grow this business, what are your goals for that business? That's why I asked you in the beginning of this broadcast, how many of y'all have been in a management or a leadership position? Because when you're in a management or a leadership position, it's your job to manage and grow the team, but it's also your job to deliver results for the business. Because if your team loves you and you're growing and cultivating and developing your people, but your business is spiraling or stagnant and not growing, eventually you're going to lose your job because you have to produce results in your business, right? So what are your goals for your business? Brian says $5. I'm assuming that's 5 mil sold volume in 1 year. Probably not 5, because Brian does real estate. So what are your goals for your business? It's just a good kind of a different way to ask yourself the question, what do I really want my business to produce? What are my goals for this business? Okay. Number 5, now taking the position of the investor. So let's say you're having a conversation at the end of June, your 6-month mark. And when you come to that conversation, you tell your business manager, when we sit down for our conversation in 2 weeks, I want you to tell me what your goals are for the business. What are your goals for the remainder of this year? What are your goals for the next 18 months? So what do you want to finish? Where do you want to be with this business by the end of 2020? And what are your more longer term goals? What do you really want to see yourself accomplish in the year 2021? So bring your 6-month goals and your 18-month goals to me and let's review them. That's your investor. So you sit down with the manager. So now you're taking the position of the investor, having your conversation with the manager who has to bring you their goals. Now the question is this: as the investor, how would you instruct your manager to achieve those goals? So if it's your job as the investor to equip and encourage and coach and motivate your business manager, how would you instruct your business manager to pursue and achieve the goals that they had outlined for themselves. So if your business manager says, I want to be able to produce 5 figures in volume every month by the end of 2020. So by the end of 2020, I want to get to our first 5-figure month by December. And then throughout all of 2021, I want to maintain 5-figure month average. All right. So if they told you that, then you would be like, all right, how are we going to accomplish that? How would you instruct your manager to accomplish that? If your manager says they wanted to publish 1 new book every year, how would you instruct them to accomplish that? How much time commitment does that require every single week? How are they going to choose which book? What steps need to go in place for them to be able to get those books created and published? What team do they need? Do they need an editor? Do they need a publisher? Are they going to self-publish it? Who's going to do the graphics work for the logos? All the stuff. Like, what do you need to do? How do you need to do it? So how would you instruct your manager to achieve the goals that they had set up for their business? That's where you want to give yourself a very honest, real, and measurable plan for exactly what you need to do to execute day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out without fail. You need to have a plan. What are we doing? How are we going to do this thing? Or are we just going to fly by the seat of your pants? And I say that because I think a whole bunch of people in this last 6 months have just literally flown by the seat of your pants. Your actions are directed based upon your circumstances. You wake up every morning and you're like, how do I feel? What am I in the mood to do? I guess I'll do a little bit on my business today. Then tomorrow you wake up and you don't feel real good and you're not really in the mood, like, forget it. I'm just going to kind of putter around the house and, but then maybe tomorrow I'll do some stuff. Or then maybe it's week on, week off. Maybe sometimes you're super motivated. You're like, I'm going to have a great week. I'm going to do a whole bunch of stuff. I'm going to get a whole bunch of stuff out there. So you do a great solid week. And then what happens? Something happens, or you don't get as much views or as much traction or as much interaction as you were hoped for. So you just settle and drop back and you stop and you pull back because the 1 week didn't go the way you thought it was going to. So then you go 3 weeks of doing nothing. Yeah, that's not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. And then you feel bad about yourself, right? Jamie, great one to you. I love that. Jamie says, I have a plan. I'm working it every day. I'm excited for all that God has planned for us. Amen to that, Jamie. I absolutely agree. So how would you instruct your manager to achieve those goals? Number 6. This is a great question, and I love this question. I ask myself all the time. All right, so if I'm still the investor and I've just had a conversation with my manager about this is what you need to do to pursue and to achieve your goals. Now, number 6, the question is, have you equipped your manager with everything that they need to be successful? Because you're the investor. So you're holding them accountable. You're challenging them to take the necessary steps. You're challenging them to pursue the goals. You're challenging them in their habits and their discipline and their execution and their focus. But now you as the manager, have you equipped your manager with everything that they need to be successful? Because you want them to produce the results, but are you doing your part as the investor to give them the right tools? Are you expecting them to produce great social media content and be live every single day, but they're still operating off a flip phone and a busted 2010 laptop or tablet where they need a new laptop, they need a new phone? All right, or are you trying to get them to focus and really coach clients and really build a great business model, but they don't have a workspace set up for themselves? You're expecting them to work from their dining room table with 17 kids in the house and they can't focus. They need a workspace. They need somewhere they can call their own. Do they need lighting? Do they need a tripod? Do they need resources? Do they need an investment in some sort of training? Do they need a mentor or a coach? Do they need a website built for them? Do they need tools? So this is where you as the investor need to look at your manager and say, you know what? We've got some big goals that we want to accomplish in this business. There's some things that we need to pursue. There's stuff that's within your control, but there's also some things that are in your way. We need to make some investments in this, or this to get you to your next level. That's a great conversation to ask yourself. Am I giving my business everything that they need to be successful? Novica said it's like a squirrel. I have too many things going on. I end up not doing anything. Got to stay focused. Narrow focus is the most important thing that you can focus on right now. When did I share that quote? hang on, I shared a quote with you guys. I did a broadcast on Saturday, or not a broadcast. I did a master class on Saturday, and it was called Reset, Mid-Year Reset. And I shared a quote about focus, and I cannot remember what that quote was, but it was such a good quote, and I'm looking through my notes real quick to see if I can remember what it was. Because it was really good. It was really good, and I can't find it. And I'm not going to worry about it. It was really good, though. If you were part of that masterclass, you may have gotten it, but I can't remember what it was. So anyway, that's number 6, is have you equipped your manager with everything they need to be successful. And listen, focus right now is probably one of the number one, if not the number one thing that business owners are struggling with. Because we're in a season in our world where it's just, there's so much distraction. There's just so much distraction. And so the problem is most people are just focused on all the things rather than narrowing in on the specific thing that I need to be focused on in this season. You've heard the quote before that good is the enemy of great. There's a lot of people are trying to just juggle all the good things in your world instead of really narrowing in on this is what I need to accomplish in this season. This needs to be my focus in this season. This is what I need to get done right now. But you're trying to manage and juggle all the things instead of the right thing. So focus is not something that just you are dealing with, Novica. It's a thing the majority of people are dealing with right now, all right? Number 7. Let's keep going. The last 2 questions I'm going to ask you. Number 7 is, when you look at your entire business and everything that's going on around your business, what is the investor's role and what is the manager's role? With every position in a business, everybody has roles and expectations. Every level in the business has roles and expectations. The CEO has roles and expectations. The business manager has roles and expectations. The operations manager has roles and expectations. The leadership team has roles and expectations. The employees, the cashiers, right down to the janitor. Everybody has roles and expectations. So if you look at the investor versus the manager, what is the investor's role and what are the expectations that comes along with the person that is bankrolling this business? And then what is the job of the manager? To be a good steward of that investment and to operate that business day in, day out without fail. What would you say because really, if you really think about it, y'all, you are the investor and you are the manager. You are the one that's financing this business and paying for it and trying to keep it alive and operating it and growing it and buying the things that are necessary and investing in the things that are necessary. You're the one that's bankrolling it. So you are the investor. So as the investor, what is your role? And what are the expectations that come along with the role of the investor? And then as the manager, what is your job? What is your roles? What do you need to be accountable to? What are things that are an absolute non-negotiable in your business that if you want to maintain that job and maintain that position and keep that business alive and thriving, what is your role and what are your jobs? What are the expectations? It's something about, I don't know why. I do know why, but can we just challenge ourselves to think about, man, let's say the business that you're currently running is your investor's business and they've simply hired you to run it, but it's not yours, it's theirs. How would that change the way you operate? How would that change the way you interact, the way you execute on a day-to-day basis, on a week-to-week basis? What happens is it shifts the buy-in, right? But there's something about, like, why can people that have a 9-to-5 job be so disciplined about punching in exactly the right time, doing exactly what they're told to do for that 8 hours a day, taking their lunch right on time, making sure that they do all their paperwork, all their book work, making sure that they're turning in the results, sending the emails, staying in touch with the client, doing everything that's expected of them because that's their job. Because they know that if they don't do their job, they're going to lose their job. Right? And I think it's negative motivation in a lot of cases. It's like, if I don't do what's expected of me, I'll lose my job. I'm not going to have this position, right? But then entrepreneurs are like, oh, I became self-employed because I want to have flexibility. I want to be able to get up when I want, work when I want, do what I want. You haven't earned that yet. You haven't earned that yet. And anybody who would tell you that they've started their business from scratch and been running day in, day out since the very beginning, just laptop lifestyle. I work from my bed every day. I don't even get out. I just grab my laptop, do a little work, make a little money, and then I go to the beach the rest of the day. Bull crap. Because your business will not survive that way. It's a shift. It's a shift in your mind. It's a shift in your mind. It's something that you absolutely have to think about. If you were put in the position, you were hired for the position of running this business and ensuring that this business would be successful. You're the one that was selected based upon your skills, your knowledge, your experience, and your abilities to run this business and take it to its next level. Are you up for promotion or are you up for termination? What is your role? What is the investor's role? What is the manager's role? The last thing I'm going to ask you, number 8, is will your business survive if changes are not made? Good morning, Bobby. Nice to see you, my friend. Will your business survive if changes are not made? Now, this entire conversation really puts you in a position to have an objective point of view of your business, right? It kind of has you step outside yourself a little bit and look at your business as wow. I'm a manager and an operator of this business, and look at how I've operated it. Look at how I've run this thing. No wonder. But I sit here and I'm frustrated because I'm not where I wanted to be, and I haven't generated as much revenue as I thought I would, or I haven't attracted as many clients as I thought I would. But really, if I look back at my performance on how I've really operated this business as the business manager, is it a surprise? Is it a surprise where I'm at? So the question is, will your business survive if changes aren't made? And if you're like, you know what? I feel like I'm good, Justin. I feel like I'm on the right track. Yeah, have I had some bad days or if I had some bad weeks? Yeah. Guess what? Me too. It happens. Doesn't mean you're not going to have bad days. Doesn't mean that you're not going to go through some periods and some seasons where it's a challenge and it's a struggle. The question is just how committed are you to your craft and how hard are you really working to maintain that business and to keep it moving forward? Or have you just been stuck for a long time? That's the question. So 8 powerful questions for you. Those are uncomfortable questions, but they are powerful questions. So my challenge for you today, y'all, is to go through each of these questions and really give yourself some sincere answers on those, because that should shake some rust off. It should rattle your cage a little bit and be like, you know what? There's some things that I can change. I think every single one of us, myself included, if we gave ourselves honest answers to those questions, it will create a momentum shift for you. If you allow it to, all right? That's my mission. As always, I wanna challenge you and encourage you to think differently, act differently, and believe differently than you would have if you had not otherwise hung out and talked to me or hung out in our broadcast this morning. All right, guys? So I gave that to you this morning to challenge you to take some steps and move yourself forward. If you need my help, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can reach out to me. JustinCapronPro.com is my website. You can email me, JustinCapronPro@gmail.com. It is my pleasure to serve. It's my pleasure to challenge, and I would love for you to get yourself moving forward. All right, I'm gonna leave you with that for today, guys. Thank you so much for your time. 40 minutes of your time is so incredibly valuable, so I appreciate you spending your time with me this morning. Be intentional with your time today. Be intentional with your talent. Be intentional with the gifting and the abilities that God has given you, and I will see you guys all around the web. All right, take care. God bless, and I'll see you guys later.